So, this weekend, Dungarvan hosts the Celtic Boxing Cup, an event which has been running since 2013. And I'm very happy to say, joining me now, Olympic gold medalist Michael Carruth. Michael, you have a bit of a history coming down to Dungarvan over the last number of years, and we might get to prior accolades in a second. But obviously, last year, with all that went on with COVID, the tournament didn't happen. But we are back this year and hopefully back with aplomb.
Yeah, it's great that it's back on. It's great boxing in general is back on. We weighed in a lot of our kids in for the County Dublin leagues there last Saturday as well. So we're hoping in the next week or so they'll get back fighting. So it's great for the for boxing in general because we've been probably worse hit than most sports. That we haven't been allowed to do anything in the last 82 years. So it's been hard, and we've lost a lot of boxers in that meantime. So, but it's the Dungarvan Cup is a great cup for us in Drimnagh. We've always done well at it. We're actually defending champions now. So I think we're longest serving winners, because of COVID. You know what I mean? So, but it's one of the things that you get kids between 16 and 18. It's not there's not a whole lot for them in boxing. And it's one thing we really have to look at in boxing as well, because in those kind of adolescent years as well, they can get distracted, for the want of a better word, and they don't take it as serious as they once did. So, and it's because there's not enough competition. And the likes of the Dungarvan Cup, the Esker Cup as well in Dublin, one in Wexford as well. It's helping kids stay in the sport, and and as I said, we are the defending champions, Drimnagh, so we're coming down to defend that crown. You know what I mean? And that's what we're about. So we've got 8 on the team only. We had 10, but one had, I think, a long COVID, and he had COVID, but symptoms are still with him. He hasn't got it, but we had to pull him out of the team. And another lad hurt his jaw and sparring, so he was taken out as well. So we have a good, strong team coming down, so we're looking forward to it.
It must be nice to be coming back as well. As you say, you're defending champions for a long time now, I suppose, considering it was 2018 since it was last on. But to be able to travel down with that little feather in your cap as well, coming into the hall with that, it must be a bit of a different feeling coming down to previous years.
Yeah, and a few of the lads who have won it are on the team as well. So, they've a little bit of experience with it as well. We got 4 new members on the team as well. So, are good kids as well. So it's a confidence building thing for them as well. It's to get them, back in doing what they love doing is boxing, and it's great for them. The Dungarvan Cup. It's a great part of the country as well. We haven't been to Dungarvan. Get down to Dungarvan because it's one of the nicest places you can see. And it's a friendly atmosphere, till we get in the ring, obviously. But at the night time, some of the coaches, we all meet up, have a drink or two, and then we're ready the next morning to go again for the weigh-ins and for the fighting. So it's one of the better shows that's on in the country at the moment.
I was scrolling down through the last couple of years as well this morning, and just kind of looking at some of the teams who have won it over the years, and then like the best male and the best female fighters over the years too. And like not only some of the names that jump out to me, and just because maybe recency bias with our own Keeling Cassidy and Tommy Hyde, who he beat in the national championships, but as the best male fighter in 2018, some of the names you see, obviously Kelly Harrington jumping out to me here, Amy Broadhurst. But aside from the names, what strikes me, Michael, is the places that some of the teams are coming from as well. It's not just an Irish thing, and that it is a global event as well, and that you have teams coming, like I'm seeing Australia, I'm seeing Canada, I'm seeing Queensland, I'm seeing places from all over the world here as well. It's an amazing thing really to think that there's boxing clubs from the 4 corners being drawn to Dungarvan for an event. It's really special, isn't it?
No, it's phenomenal, absolutely. And as you say, I don't know what the layout is this year. If people are teams allowed to travel from those countries you just mentioned, but it'd be great if they were, because you don't want a half a Dungarvan Cup, you want a full Dungarvan Cup, and you want if we are to do well in it, you want that there's enough teams in it and things like that as well. So, but it's again, safety is paramount in anything now. What we have to do in life. You know what I mean? So I'm not expecting as much in it this time around, but we have to start somewhere. We have to win, and this is one of the tournaments that we can start walking again and crawling again, and then we're back in the full whack of boxing. I hope.
As well, something you touched on there at the start as well, and the fact that boxing was one of the sports that was kind of hit hardest by COVID as one of the indoor sports. It must have been a massive shock considering, like day to day activity in gyms and kids coming in for training and people getting ready for fights, and then for it all to be just cut and like to be gone utterly and totally, and for so long to have gone until sports like basketball, like boxing, to have gotten the go ahead again. And we understand the reasoning for it, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, it affects people. And you point out there as well, and point out rightly, that there's probably a huge number of people who have been lost to sports like boxing, like basketball, because of the time that they've had away from the ring or from the court, and they might be lost for good. And it has been a very, very tough period for so many sports.
Oh, without question, and as you say, basketball and boxing are probably one of the worst affected at the moment. And again, boxing is a kind of sport that if you don't use it, you lose it. And it's one of those type of sports that you have to be 100% committed to at every time of your training sessions, or your fighting, or whatever you're doing, your diet, everything that goes with being a champion, and or being even a boxer. You don't have to be a champion just to be a boxer. So it's one of those things that we've done quite well in our own club in relation to keeping lads there and keeping them. We kept them up to date, and we kept them. We put on our WhatsApps, and we were telling them how to. We were doing training programs with them, and in online and on Zoom and things like that, just to keep them active as well. So it was one of those. It was tough, but we've a great club in Drimnagh, and we've great coaches there as well, so it's and great background staff for us as well. So I think we got over the bubble, but we've lost a few, and we know we've lost a few. But again, new kids come in the block as well, because with Kelly's win in the Olympics, and obviously Aidan's bronze medal in the Olympics, it stores kids on against you to, I want to be a boxer. You know what I mean? So that's the beautiful thing about it. The Olympic Games is one of our best endorsements, and we had a very good Olympic Games this year.
I want to ask you, as you mentioned there, and you mentioned Kelly and Aidan and the real top tier, and of course the boxing championships, the World Boxing Championships on at the moment. Now, it hasn't gone fantastic for Team Ireland so far. We're still looking for our first fight, and as I speak to you now, we're hoping that Adam Hession can go and do the job today and advance in his fights. But I do want to come at it maybe.
He's up against a Russian today, is he? I think he's up against a Russian. Yeah. So it's not an easy first fight for Aidan. Listen, you have to, to become the best, you have to beat the best, and that's the way it is in boxing. So it's, it's been disappointing at the moment, but, it's a very inexperienced team that we sent over here as well. We're giving them a taste of what world boxing is built, and some of them have never even, gone this far before, so it is a good learning curve for them as well to, to start fording them, and they know what they have to do after this to further themselves again.
Yeah. I do want to ask you as well now, you mightn't have seen much of him because the performance he gave in the national championships, our own Keeling Cassidy from Waterford.
Great, absolutely unbelievable. I didn't see that one coming in, and I'm sure his opponent didn't either, So, but it was a fantastic win for him, and he got his reward with becoming a league champion, and obviously at the world champ. Isn't he at the world championship? Isn't he?
He is indeed,
yeah. It was a great moment for him. Absolutely brilliant, and well done to him.
And look, he'll be in the ring now on Saturday. He's fighting a Mexican as well, and it'll be his first taste of international boxing as well, and all that comes with that. Maybe from your own experience and your own time down the years, what's it like, if you can even think back for a moment, to your first World Championships and your first, world stage, get into the ring? Because I know Keelan as well, as you say, not many were expecting the performance he put in, and it was a bit of a shock to see him beat Tommy Hyde. What's it like when you actually get that first taste at the real top level?
Well, I suppose the real level is, I got my first. I went to my first and only World Championship live in 1989, and which was in Moscow. Nice place to go to. Just past the. They just got out of kind of communist rule, but it was still there. But I won my first fight, and I won my second fight, and my third fight was for a medal in a boxing American. Skipper Kelp was his name, and I beat him. And I won a bronze medal, and I got beaten by an East German in the final. I got revenge on a few years later at the Olympic Games. You know what I mean? So, but it was a great World Championships for me, because I'd won a world medal, and it was really a kicking stone for me as well, that I can compete with the best. I wasn't on any high performance things like they are now. I wasn't on any things like that. We were trained truly out of our clubs. And then we went into training camps for 5 or 6 weeks prior to any events, like Europeans, Worlds, or eventually then Olympic Games. But it was a calling card to me as well, that when I was looking at some of the athletes as well, the conditioning that they were in as well, you know, I said, well, I'm going to have to get myself bigger and stronger as well, which I did. But I had a great World Championships in 1989 because um, coming home with a bronze medal, I think I was the only Western boxer to win a medal in those World Championships, which
Right.
will tell you how tough they were. You know, like
Yeah.
it was all Eastern Bloc, it was all China, it was all Cuba, it was all America, and I think I was the only one of the whole of Western to win a medal. And so again, it was a real kind of confidence builder for me as well. So yeah, I only managed to get the one World Championships because I think I got injured in another one, and Billy Walsh went instead of me, and that was it. And then obviously it's a great, it is a great base for you to, you know, when you go to Europeans and World Championships, it is obviously a great base for you for when you hit the Olympic Games as well. So.
On that, Michael, and maybe the last thing for you, I don't want to keep it too much longer, is, you know, when you look back at yourself and the likes of Billy, and then we look at the likes of Katie, and then Kelly nowadays, and we saw Kenneth Egan as well, and success at the top level is what inspires the younger generations. And that, as we said a moment ago, when we had what we had over the last year and a half, and people not being able to compete or train their sport, to see it getting back in action, and then importantly on a local level at the moment with Dungarvan this weekend, for people to be able to see people boxing at a high level and to inspire younger generations to get into the sport, there's a huge importance in that.
Oh, without question. And, you know, these are the stepping stones as well. As I said, the Dungarvan Cup is a fantastic cup. We at Drimnagh have, I think we've attended every one since day one with it, you know, so it's one in our calendar that's nearly the first thing on our calendar every year that we're getting the lads ready for it and things like that, you know. But again, boxing, you know, it's full of heroes, but it's also full of, you know, hard people, you know, and I don't mean hard people in the sense that people who put the effort in and, you know, sometimes don't get the reward. And it can be a cruel sport as well, you know. They always say thousands of punches makes a career, one can end it, you know. So that's the way the nature goes with boxing. But, you know, when we look at our success, you know, as you just mentioned, some great people there. You know, I was lucky enough to, you know, I had my role models growing up as well, you know, back, you know, the Fred Teeds and, you know, the Hugh Russells and, you know, all guys like that who medal at the Olympic Games. And it's great that, you know, when you see Kenneth Egan took up boxing because he seen me winning the Olympic Games back in 1992, and he walked into a club in Neilstown Boxing Club. He says he wants to become like Michael Carruth, and his coach says Michael Carruth is crap, you know. And he goes, "After winning the gold medal," and he goes, "But Carruth is still crap." He said, "Why are you saying that?" He says, "Because he's my nephew." You know, that's what. Yeah, it was my uncle. It was my uncle Noel who was the head coach of Neilstown Boxing Club. So it was. It was one of those things, you know, uncles and nephews, you know how we get on with one another, you know. So, but my uncle Noel was, he never got to see Kenneth win his Olympic gold medal. He died a year or two prior to it, you know, and he would have been the proudest man in all of Ireland had he been alive at that time, you know. But Kenneth, you know, done a great winning a silver medal. You know, our girls are doing fantastic. You know, when you look at Katie and Kelly now after winning two Olympic gold medals in such a short time as well, it shows you how strong Irish boxing is, female as well. And we were back on the podium. That's the one good thing as well. You know, Brazil was now found to be what Brazil was about. It was about corruption. It was about people getting paid and things like that. And they were saying we done bad in the boxing. We didn't do bad. If proper judging and refereeing had been adhered to, we would have come back with another couple of medals. And I believe there is a chance that some of the guys who didn't medal at those Olympic Games might get a medal for it because of what happens. You know what I mean? So it's not a way you'd want to get your medal. You know, you want to be on the podium and, you know, getting the pictures taken. But Katie deserves the medal, obviously. Paddy Barnes and Michael Conlon, even Joe Lowe. Joe Lowe got 2 public warnings. Joe Ward got 2 public warnings in his fight. So, honestly, no, elite boxers don't get public warnings, 2 public warnings. You know, so it's one of those types of things. But again, it's a great kind of marker for young kids to have a look at and say, well, I want to be the next Kelly Harrington. I want to be the next Katie Taylor. I want to be the next Michael Carruth. It's one of those things, you know what I mean? And you like to see that they're going to push themselves for it and try and make that.
Exactly. Well, Michael, look, I do hope you enjoy your weekend down in Dungarvan. It's great to have you down. And I would say maybe best of luck and hopefully you can retain your title, but maybe I should probably be back in the more local people, I suppose, in this case.
You might like it to be to your
yeah.
hand,
Yeah. But either way, enjoy your weekend.
Can I say one thing as well? A big thank you to the Gold Coast as well for looking at us after us, the hotel. We got a short notice on this Dungarvan Cup that it was allowed to go on, and Obviously, a lot of the hotels in the town were booked out, but they looked after us as usual. So a big thank you to the Gold Coast for looking after Drimnagh. Thank you.
Indeed. Thanks a million, Michael. All the best.
Okay. Take care. All the best.